after going through a troublesome time brimming with frustrations and treacheries. Ning awakens in a strong body with the force of the God Sword, turning into the most grounded unfading god at any point known. Ning is an 18-year-old failure at the lower part of the established pecking order, yet he longed for making something important out of his life. All of a sudden, terrible news broke every one of his fantasies in one portentous day when his sweetheart of 5 years unloaded him over the telephone. That is the point at which he discovered that she had been going behind his back with a rich person. Ning felt the world disintegrating underneath his feet. He scarcely had any cash or assets, and he was at that point in a $50K obligation on his visa. He had assumed acknowledgement to buy every one of the costly presents for his ex to exacerbate the situation. He likewise needed to work in a digital bistro part-time to pay for his dad's rental bills and his examinations. He was strolling along the road, head down, attempting to fail to remember his distress in a container of soy milk. Unexpectedly, Jacob's eyes extended as he saw a young lady nearly getting hit by a truck. His body in a flash responded, and he dove forward to save her. However, it included some significant pitfalls. His own body was present in the method of the truck, and saving himself was past the point of no return. He awakens in an odd put with no thought about what's happening. He meets Master Cui, the Lord of Life and Demise. Be that as it may, Ning shouldn't bite the dust today. He should live until he was 98 years of age. The ruler was in a touch of shock when he saw Ning dead. In any case, Ning begins faulting him for allowing him to pass on and requests to be rejuvenated once more. In any case, the ruler says, "We don't acknowledge discounts." Yet, he allows him the opportunity to resurrect in a different universe. He needed an existence of simplicity, which was the reason he had mentioned to the master to be rebrought into the world as somebody with heaps of leisure time and practically no obligation. In this way, envision his shock when he accepted his response Ning would resurrect as a sovereign. Ning awakens in the new world and smiles when he understands that he has resurrected as the main beneficiary of a strong group. 15 years passed from that point forward, and Ning developed, as you anticipate, an illustrious, presumptuous, and languid person. He's helped by two workers named Chun Chao and Chiu Yi. He experienced childhood in his fantasy life, doing nothing, despite being a wonder in combative techniques. However, his preparation comprises resting the entire day, until his dad comes to look at him. He rapidly gets up and imagines that he's preparing. His dad generally wouldn't allow him to rehearse outside the castle. His dad has zero faith in him. He's a combative technique virtuoso, yet he's excessively self-important and doesn't regard difficult work. However, their human foes, the Shuelong group, are taking a few actions. Thus, he should be certain Ning turns into a decent future pioneer for the family and will permit him to prepare outside if he beats an evil presence monster first. Ning checked out at the monster with a ridiculing sneer. It was little and super skinny, nothing he would fear. Yet, when the ruler released the evil spirit monster, everything changed. The monster out of nowhere developed into a huge snake, a lot bigger than Ning had at any point seen. Ning dropped his jaw in shock and staggered back, his bluster wavering. With fortitude and strength in his heart, he charged forward, prepared to finish his central goal. He ran and jumped, swinging his sword. In any case, the beast's tail was excessively strong. He was pushed back, regardless of how diligently he attempted. Ning needed to rapidly act. He quit going after, watched and paused, his heart beating in his chest. At the point when he was at long last certain of what to do, he accused forward of all his strength and attempted to penetrate the monster with his blade. In any case, as his sword connected with the monster's extreme stowaway, it bobbed off and Jake tumbled to the ground once more. Jake was resolved not to surrender. He recollected the power he had. He shut his eyes and brought the ruby air inside him. Abruptly, he felt power course through his veins, and he felt quicker and more grounded than at any other time. He regathered his boldness and energy, and with one quick maneuver, curved, turned and cut through the monster's throat. His dad held out a jade blade for him to complete the monster. Its cutting edge sparkled in the sun. Be that as it may, the sword wasn't simply a common weapon. It was a mystical edge, and it possibly worked if Ning's blood went through it. Ning snatched the sword sincerely, and with a couple of drops of his blood, it started to gleam and retain his power. He felt the sword become fully awake in his grasp. He jumped through the air, and the jade blade shimmered in the light. With one last strike, the monster was killed. Be that as it may, the devil monster's mother currently wishes retribution on Ning and assaults. He attempts to get away from the field as the monster assaults him. He plays out an exceptional procedure to overcome it. However, it evades his assault, causing him to lose his arm. Once more, he stands up and utilizes a mysterious method to regrow his arm. He's going to get gone after once more, yet luckily, his dad saves him and powers the winged snake to withdraw. Ning reunites with his mom. He tells her that the winged snake is dead on for getting payback as they killed his child first. She feels that his profound shortcoming will be a weight once he becomes a lord. His dad later returns and permits Ning to prepare outside. The news delights Ning, and without the slightest hesitation, he surges outside. Ning investigates the backwoods while Bai and Chiu Yi go with him. He comes by a lake, where he sees a home over the tree. He attempts to take a few eggs, however he's stunned to see a purplish blue sky snake before him. He tumbles from the tree and sees a young lady giggling at him. He blows up, telling her she won't chuckle when the terrible snake goes after her. Be that as it may, the young lady lashes out and changes into the snake he experienced a second prior. He fights with the snake while making an effort not to hurt it. In any case, the snake young lady goes for the kill quickly and without hesitation to him and winds up breaking his ribs. He utilizes a procedure to mend himself. Also, chooses to go serious against the snake, who returns to its human sword. Ning participates in a similarly sided sword battle with the young lady. The fight is unending until he gets found out in a snare. He advises her to run, however she likewise gets caught. He gets through the snare and faces a foe who transforms into a monster. He turns his head and sees Jean, a crook known for detestable deeds. The young lady advises him to run as he has no potential for success against him. Ning watches from a remote place as they torment the snake young lady to remove her power. He's going to go after them, however seems to stop his forcefulness, letting him know that this is essential for his preparation. Ning carves out the opportunity to reflect and sees trees move blown away due to the breeze. Conversely, lotus blossoms keep consistent by being serene. He shuts his eyes and effectively shows the force of the lotus bloom strategy, making fire and water to cut any item. John assaults him by tossing a tree trunk toward him. In any case, he easily breaks it. John derides his pomposity and communicates his craving to annihilate his tribe. Ning effectively shows the ruby splendid graph of the nine sky that amplifies the force of components. The monster going with John assaults him, and he rapidly counterattacks it by pulverizing it into pieces. John gets terrified and bows before him, requesting that he spare his life. He asks to turn into Ning's understudy. Nonetheless, Ning denies it since he doesn't consent to involve his sidekicks as penances. He calls his power and eliminates him. The snake young lady expresses gratitude toward Ning for saving her. Consequently, he can request anything from her. The discussion is intruded on by Chiu Yi, who cautions them about the close-by town ablaze. Ning can't completely accept that this obliteration was brought about by the evil spirit snake. He takes a gander at the bodies and recalls his mom telling him that his feelings are his shortcoming. He at long last comprehends what she implies. His benevolence will make individuals endure, even him, who might lose his friends and family. He needs to battle the snake, however lets him know that he's excessively frail, and he wants to prepare for a very long time to get an opportunity. Yet, Ning has no persistence to stand by and train. He wants a method for overcoming the monster. Bai offers to battle the devil snake for him, however he denies it. He's the person who made the evil spirit's desire for retribution, and he's liable for finishing it. The snake young lady lets him know she knows how to make him more grounded in a brief time frame. She tells about the undying expert Sui Hua, who's living on the splendid Heart Island, who will give him his inheritance if Ning breezes through 3 assessments. Despite the peril that he might confront, Ning chooses to go. The snake young lady goes with him, however Ning needs to go without anyone else. He peruses a sign at the cavern's entry, saying he'll be compensated with anything he needs. Inside, he experiences a shielded gatekeeper that cautions him to return if he would rather not bite the dust. Notwithstanding the dangers, Ning can't return. He should have serious areas of strength for tackle the concerns he has previously chosen. He will battle. The watchman increases into incalculable officers prepared to go after him. At any rate, he's unsure about what amount of time it will require to overcome them, yet he battles them. He cuts his sword to and fro. However, they don't appear to kick the bucket, regardless of whether they get cut into pieces. He calls the force of Lotus. The troopers break up, however return once more. He finds that the 81 troopers' capability is a solitary unit, meaning when one endures harm, the others will feel it. He should dispose of them consistently so the controlling substance's enchanted energy will be depleted. He battles for 3 straight days without taking a rest until he at long last figures out how to overcome them. He lies on the ground, attempting to recuperate his breath. He's worn out, however he can't stop. He should push forward and complete the leftover tests. He contemplates for a brief time frame to recuperate his energy, however a monster monkey unexpectedly shows up before him. The monster advises him to jump to the 3rd test, because the second watchman's sweetheart down and out up with him, and he concluded life wasn't worth the effort any longer. He cautions Ning he won't keep down and will utilize his full power. He slaps Ning immediately, thumping him back with his solidarity. The monster lets him know that he doesn't have to kill or overcome him, he simply has to hurt him. Ning brings 2 blades and shows the lotus blown, yet the monster doesn't recoil and effectively counterattacks him. He attempts to battle once more by causing a blast nearby, yet the monster has no scratch. He comes down to the injustice of the circumstance. Abruptly, the monster begins crying, asking him to work harder and show more determination. He knows about his ability, however decides to disregard it. Ning is shocked by the watchman's response as it keeps on sobbing because of depression from being separated from everyone else for millennia. He deceives the monster's state and uses its paws to wound his chest. He's areas of strength for naught. He's brilliant. He didn't utilize solidarity to overcome the monster, uncovering a colossal potential to be a fair undying. The monster acknowledges his loss and calls him ace before vanishing. He meanders the spot and winds up in a purple room ideal for reflection. At the point when he's going to begin, he sees a monster bull that presents itself as a feeling of a mysterious object of Sui Hua. The bull compliments him for breezing through the assessments, making him the 5th expert in that spot. At the point when the bull is going to leave, Ning gripes about getting just a decoration after going through complex tests. In any case, the bull says he can't do much as he's simply a soul guide, and the past bosses of the spot that could show him are gone at this point. All things being equal, it shows him the lesser thousand sword arrangement strategy, where he has some control over numerous weapons to cause harm for his rivals, assuming that we'll want to shake the sky and earth on the off chance that he aces this new strategy. Following an entire month of preparing, Ning heads to the lower part of the lake to battle the evil spirit snake. His atmosphere turned out to be strong to the point that it even opens the water. The evil presence spits fire at him, yet he rapidly utilizes his blade to send it back to the devil. The snake attempts to eat him, however he vanishes and cuts the devil's eye. Ning swims to the surface, and the devil follows him in rage. He is a real sense flies harming the evil spirit's body with his new power. The winged snake attempts to escape, yet Ning corners him. He brings the force of 1,000 swords and cuts half of the devil's head off. Ji Ning gets back and becomes wrinkled when he discovers that the Shuelong tribe, the Ji group's nemesis, is taking up arms against them. The most grounded among them is Tongyu, while Suli is the brains. Tongyu figured out how to kill the vast majority of their faction individuals in their past conflict with the assistance of Suli's favoring, which expanded his fight strength. They need to dispose of Suli first to overcome Tongyu, however it's very unthinkable as he will presumably lock himself. Their main opportunity to win is to utilize 5 individuals to deliver the mythical beast mark of divine chains. Ning goes to the Shuelong tribe to illuminate them about the fight area. He takes steps to kill Tongyu as he attempted to go after him while still in his mom's belly. Tongyu blows up and immovably lets him know they won't withdraw at the battle. The day of the conflict comes, and Ning and Bai are entrusted to go secrecy to ensure the Shuelong group will not have the option to escape while the other 5 family individuals, including Ning's folks, will control the winged serpent seal. His dad utilizes the winged serpent scales to change them into swords and gives them to Ning, trusting that they will assist him with annihilating the Shuelong faction. In the wake of retaining the power, Ning heads to the combat zone and requests great many swords to debilitate the adversaries. Notwithstanding, the adversaries work together and counterattack him on the double. He moves impacted away, experiencing different wounds. He utilizes his powers to recuperate them and feels more impressive than at any other time. He climbs to the sky while the foes cast a seal to safeguard themselves. In any case, his swords enter through the hindrance. The mythical beast seal rises out of the sky while Ning controls endless weapons, as they tumble from the sky like a downpour, and he gathers the force of a lotus. The adversaries attempt to get to him, yet he decapitates the foes individually. Despite winning this fight, the winged serpent seal gets broken in light of Tongyu's solidarity. Tongyu's going to go after Ning's folks, yet Ning comes to him. Tongyu changes into a greater structure, however it's nothing contrasted with Ning's solidarity. The adversary charges forward, however Ning utilizes the 1,000-blade strategy to go after him, until Ning consolidates the 1,000 swords and lotus procedure. Tongyu breaks the snare, yet Ning utilizes his speed to harm him. He doesn't offer him a reprieve, and with one last blow, he utilizes the force of lotus to debilitate the rival and cut his head. Ning attempts to retain Tong's power as quickly as possible, however he can't move, allowing Suli an opportunity to go after his group by bringing his winged serpent. The tribe individuals attempt to stop the assault by controlling the mythical beast seal against it, yet its power is a major area of strength for to even think about coordinating. Ning looks as the rival's mythical beast eats up his family into pieces. He cornmeal his teeth and cries in torment as they are winded up dead by Suli. He shouts in distress, which makes the spot disintegrate. He rises to the sky and goes after Suli's mythical serpent, figuring out how to cut it down the middle. After overcoming the adversary, he's just left with Bai, the main survivor from their tribe. A tear tumbles from his eye as he understands everything is over at this point.